What's up, investors? It's Mike from MJF Invest. Today's live stream is just going to be a recap of the day. Some of the trades that I've been eyeing up, some of the stocks I've been looking at. Some fun stuff was happening today on Twitter. We'll talk a little bit about Jim Cramer and his ongoing battle with Wall Street Bets, the Wall Street Bets Reddit crowd. He had a whole thing going on all day today on Twitter. I wanted to talk about NFTs with the, and how they fit into the future a little bit. Really cool stuff, really futuristic, and I really think it holds a lot of value in the gaming sector. And anybody really in content creation in any way. Really cool, fascinating stuff. I wanted to discuss some more news about Pure Storage. They got the upgrades I was talking about. I was looking forward to, and go over some other stocks, that I was looking into throughout the day, in the recaps. Workhorse reported their earnings. They had a pretty strong earnings considering. I was trying to do too much. I think I was trying to share my screen. I want to start. I'm trying to figure some new stuff out to be a little bit more creative with, my content. And I thought like being able to share my screen live would add something, to the live stream. Maybe we could do some DD, as a group, and I could kind of show, my whole process in a step-by-step way, what websites I use and kind of how I'm spotting stuff, what metrics I'm really paying attention to, and I thought that was, would have been a pretty cool feature to have. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get it going right now. It was lagging pretty bad. So I'm probably gonna have to find better software to use. But definitely keep that in mind and stay tuned for that. I'm still gonna keep trying, and I will figure it out at some point. Hopefully sooner rather than later. If you're in the live stream, please hit that like button. That kind of stuff really helps the channel. Really trying to grow. I got a young channel. I got a small audience. I really like to grow it. So make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. A couple really fun things that went on today was Pure Storage got an upgrade from Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley still has them as a hold. They didn't upgrade them to a buy yet, but they did upgrade their targets, which I thought was, it's a good sign, a really good sign. Couple other things I wanted to discuss was they had a really interesting news that came out that they teamed up with IBM, or rather Portworx, which is owned by Pure Storage, teamed up with IBM, for hybrid cloud workloads. So again, here's a competitor, if you will, needing a Pure Storage product to get there. So awesome stuff. Charlie Giancarlo on the earnings call had said, this is the only game in town. So, this is a sign of that, right? How are you doing? FRSX got some news running in the after hours. Yes. The pilot program, there should be a partnership. I'm thinking that it's the iNet Mobile partnership that I'm expecting should be Toyota. So, hold the company long. I've been talking about a lot of the prospects that they have, and a lot of the stuff happening with that company is the secondary products are driving it, right? iNet Mobile is a subsidiary of FRSX, fully autonomous, but it's certainly not the most attractive thing about the company, right? I think QuadSight is. So iNet Mobile bringing this kind of attention, definitely a positive sign, awesome. But, I'm waiting for QuadSight. So I don't want to get too caught up in what happens with this partnership, if they get it, if they don't get it, but I'm expecting that'll be pretty soon. Rumors are it's Toyota, so we'll see, which just makes the company more attractive, because I view iNet Mobile as being their like a secondary product. It's not an important, it is an important product. It's a revenue source and a good one, but it's not the most attractive. It's not the growth driver for this company. The growth driver is QuadSight. Okay, and if you want to understand Foresight Autonomous, they're basically made up of three parts, right? So there's QuadSight, there's iNet Mobile, and then there's RailVision. It's pretty standard. iNet Mobile would be, a subsidiary. It's more or less for like bikers, and it can be used in cars and, for accident prevention, when you're walking, those kind of things. But really what we want to see is QuadSight. QuadSight is integrated into NVIDIA's Jetson. QuadSight is the reason that they got a partnership with FLIR. The reason they got a partnership with Elbit Systems, which is a defense contractor from Israel. So that's what I want to know. I want to know what's going on with QuadSight, what's going on with FLIR, what's going on with Elbit Systems. Until I know that, I would not sell my shares. So although I'm excited and happy, people were getting down on it. They're like, "Oh man, it's back to $6." I'm like, so what? I got it at $1. I don't care. I'm holding this long until I know what's going on with QuadSight. Still cheap, yes. The ticker symbol GSAT it is cheap, very cheap. The concern I have with that is that it would, you would think that it's a tiny company because it's $2 a share, and that it could fly on PR. But take a look at the market cap. It's like a $2 billion market cap, I think, or a $2.5 billion market cap. And not that that's big, but it's bigger than you would think from the share price. So it may take some time, in consolidating, and it'll run like and it'll have to be a healthy build up. When I'm looking for swing trades or YOLO trades, I'm looking for low market caps that can fly on news. One press release, PR will just send it ripping, So can I tell you something about PSTH? PSTH, is that's Perishing Square, or no? Is that Bill Ackman? That's Ackman's SPAC, I think, right? I'm pretty sure that's Ackman's. Let me make sure before I don't know much about it. We don't know what the target would be if I'm talking about the right company. Let me just make sure before I go into like a long answer, and I'm not even talking about that. Okay, Ackman's SPAC. Okay. All right. The thing about that is I don't know. Perishing Square is Bill Ackman's SPAC, right? The thing about that is I just have a feeling, that Bill Ackman is a value investor, right? He's a good businessman, strong businessman. I have nothing but respect for him. But as an investor, right, I don't think that he's the visionary type. He's not really like an innovator, right? So I'm expecting like a deep value company to be attached. This company's already like trading at $30 a share or over. It's ran up, a lot, So I see a scenario where where the target ends up being a deep value, and it completely underwhelming the investors that are already there, causing a sell-off. So if you're not going to get in it long-term, like really long-term, I would stay away from it. But, it's the game, it's the game we would play as growth investors. You also could attach something and totally shock me and think it could run up to $100. I just think based on Bill Ackman's resume, based on what I know about him, based on history, that he's going to add value stock, and that's going to take some time, So, at that point, depending on what he adds, or what he targets, I may get in, especially if there is a sell-off. But I'm not going to get in now, and I don't view Bill Ackman as the kind of guy that I'm just going to trust with my money. I view Chamath Palihapitiya that way, I own IPOF. That's how much I respect Chamath. But Chamath is the only one I do that with. I own IPO call options for those. Probably exercise them once there's a target, hopefully. But I personally don't view Bill Ackman that way. So if you do, great. I would get into that SPAC before you knew what company was even coming, and it could work out. But for me, you could trust me with that money. Promevaled. Well, I could trust you with the money, huh? I only trust one. I trust Chamath. That's it. When Chamath makes a move, to me, in my opinion, I respect his vision. I know not only is he going to give me a return on my investment, I also believe that he's going to, I believe he's going to attach a company that changes the world, a really important company too. So, that's the guy that I look to for my YOLO type or my, my bet the jockey approach. I always look into the leadership, right? And when I know what the company is, when I know what company is going to be attached, and I go to analyze the company, I will give it a high mark because Bill Ackman is involved. I'll say, okay, strong leadership, Bill Ackman, great. But until I know what it is, I don't trust him like that. You know what I mean? So there's a level of trust. I mean, he's a great businessman, and a great leader. But as far as like blindly, just like I know for a fact Bill Ackman's going to take care of me, no, I don't view him like that. NIO is running crush earnings. Yeah, well, NIO's a good, NIO's NIO. I think in my opinion, it's probably going to be the second best electric vehicle company of the future. I think they'll get all the resources they need from the Chinese government. They have a good product. They're having some success already. People like NIO, and the fact that, also too, today, I know that they can lean on their government. If you look into that company, I believe there's 5 branches of the Chinese government involved as investors or, back them in, some way, shape, or form. So there'll be no shortage of resources for NIO to succeed. So I totally expect that they'll do great. And if I had to pick one EV company besides Tesla to do well, over the next decade, it would probably be NIO, even more so than Lucid or some of the other companies because they're out there already doing it. And just the fact that I have a feeling that they're going to have unlimited resources. So that's always a positive for a company, I guess. When your native government won't let you fail, I mean that helps. Look at the the banks, right? It doesn't matter if they fail. The United States got them. Boom, we got them. Same concept. So you bought today, QELL. I'm not familiar with what that company is or what it does. If you drop a line or two, I could look into it. I'd be looking for what their moats are, what sector they're in, and why you like them. You get me started, and I can write it down, and I can get going to look into it. A couple other things I was looking at was SOS. I discussed that 2 weeks ago on my live streams. A lot of people on here were on SOS, and it was like $3 to $5 a share. Everybody, a lot of the audience was talking about it, and I didn't pull the trigger. I started to look into it. By the time I looked into it, it was up to like $12. So I passed. But back down here at these levels, it does look attractive. So it's a lithium play. Okay, wow. Okay, lithium plays are definitely, I believe, going to start getting some pretty big attention. I had somebody in the audience talking to me about some of these natural, like these element type plays, and he's talking about like nuclear and the benefits and some of the different ways that we can produce energy, battery powers and stuff like that. And it's really so awesome to me to all these different companies and all the ways that they're approaching it. I can't wait to see, who wins, and whose method is the most successful. Unfortunately for me, I'm no expert in that area. And it's hard for me to look at some of these lithium companies and identify what the moats are. So I haven't personally added a lithium play or like a play like I own MP Materials, but that's mainly for neodymium because MP Materials is going to get into really trying to manufacture magnets and be the epicenter of, at least in North America for rare earths, plus, around the world for neodymium. So if you go into the MP Materials investor presentation, they lay a very clear plan out of what they're trying to do with neodymium. So I own them. I can understand that. I see where neodymium and magnets are used. I understood that. I understood that a few months ago, when I added MP. As far as lithium goes, it's very difficult for me to look I could be looking at 2 lithium companies. I'm not positive where the moat is or how to identify it. Like I know how to analyze an EV company. I could tell you, I could pass that information on, tell you what to look for, and give you a pretty accurate recipe to deciding what companies will make it or not, right? Like with EV, we know we got to find out, they got to have a solution to battery technology, right? They got to have infrastructure charging, at least, like the to Tesla would be the supercharge network. And then also too, margins on manufacturing, right? Because prototypes are one thing, but manufacturing is a totally other thing. So if you're going to outsource your manufacturing, you're at a very big disadvantage, in my opinion, when you're looking at some of these EV companies. So, I know how to analyze an EV company. I know how to analyze a software company. I know how to analyze some of these technology companies. I have a very difficult time with having to analyze lithium and some of the stuff there. It's still really just not my strong suit. I couldn't really tell. So if you could help me out, maybe you could help me out with that. What do you like so much about QELL? I would be looking for margins. Where their moat is, why them over a different, like where are they, right? Like I know VALE, ticker symbol VALE, is out of Brazil. They look really good. I don't know if that's a mining play, but it's not really specific to lithium. I know lithium is or they may have sold off their lithium. See, I don't even know. I'm not the guy to talk to you about lithium. I'm currently learning, on the fly with that. Got to run to the airport. Stay safe and blessed. ABML battery play, recycling, received government grant and ran from 20 cents to 4.50 and pulled back to $2.60. So, okay, that seems like an interesting ticker. Somebody in the comments is mentioning ticker symbol ABML, and they're saying that they got a government grant, and they ran from 20 cents up to 4.50, and then during this correction, they pulled back down to $2.60. So it could be a good time to enter. Saying it's a battery technology, a battery recycling play. So ABML. So I got a list of tickers that I'm getting ready to look into. So. It was like, and also too, there was a lot of other stuff I was looking at today. Ticker symbol HOL started looking real good. I've been talking about that quite a bit on my Twitter. I've been talking about that in my live streams. Out of all the space plays available, a pure space play, and I've analyzed quite a few of these companies now. Ticker symbol HOL to me looks like the best long-term opportunity of what's available in that sector. Once SpaceX becomes public, that's a different story. SpaceX will obviously be the market leader and the most attractive company that I would want to own. But since SpaceX is not a public company, and I've looked into about 10, 12 of these space companies, my favorite, and I'm pretty comfortable saying my DD tells me that Astra is the best one. Ticker symbol HOL is the best space play available in the stock market right now. And I'm getting ready to make a video about it. I kind of like it. I didn't add it yet. It looked pretty good today. I was hoping for a little bit more of a pullback. It was looking real good on Thursday, Friday at like $14, $15, but I didn't get it there. But if I think about it, really, 10 years from now, is it going to matter if I got it at 14 or 17 or 18? I don't think so. It's either going to be $150 or $200, or it's going to not be around. So that's kind of how I view that one. And my DD definitely tells me comfortably that HOL is the best space stock available currently. Hairless and Careless has mentioned ticker symbol KWBT. I'm not familiar with that either. I'd like to understand it, or what sector is it in, where they're most. Drop a line or two to get me started. If you just joined the live stream, please hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for future content. We focus on research and DD. I'm very open and transparent, man. I want to help. I truly want to help you find some of these stocks. I'm not just the kind of guy that's just going to tell you what to buy, when to buy it. Although I'm okay at that too. I'm pretty good at it. If you look at some of my work, I made some calls really early, but it's because of the research. It's because of the information. And that's the kind of channel that I want to have. I'd rather teach you how to pick these stocks on your own. So that's the kind of channel it is. So if you're new, please hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you. Love to have an audience that way as well. Ticker symbol NSH and SPIR. I'm not familiar with either one of those. I'm sorry. It's a biotech products for agriculture. All right, good agriculture play, and this is a good time to tell you as well. Just before over the weekend, I usually stay away from OTC stocks and penny stocks like that. When I look for penny stocks, it's usually very strategic. Even if you look at the penny stocks I've talked about, they've been pretty calculated. Like FRSX, I got into because they had a partnership with FLIR and NVIDIA. Zomedica had a clear catalyst like Truforma. That's why I got into that one. Nano Dimensions was a penny stock when I got into it. And the catalyst for me was Yoav Stern owned 5 million warrants. So, so there has to be a pretty big deal. I'm not just so freely jumping into penny stocks, and I kind of shy away from OTC penny stocks. I can't even remember the last time I bought one. So no offense, and I know people make a lot of money in OTC, but I'm really not the guy for that. And there's certainly people better for OTC stocks than I am. So, I don't want to lead you in the wrong direction, and I don't want to be, a source that costs you some money. So honestly, OTC is not really my thing, So I wanted to discuss an agriculture play. Okay, it's a stock that I've talked about on my channel a couple times. It's called AppHarvest. It's ticker symbol APPH. Just recently, Jim Cramer approved it, and he invited Jonathan Webb on his channel. If you go back and watch some of my older videos about that, and I went back and I just watched them a couple months ago, and that's what I said in the content, which made me kind of happy. It's really cool to see like some of that stuff transpire. And what I said was, once Jonathan Webb goes on his media tour, and if he could get on Mad Money, people are really going to believe in this guy. He's fiery. He has a certain energy. He believes in his product. He's knowledgeable of his product, and he's just fiery. He didn't take crap from journalists. And as soon as I saw him, I was like, this is the guy. I'm investing in him. Then once I started looking into the company, they had a lot of great things too. But Jim Cramer invited him on, and I saw on LinkedIn that Jonathan Webb said that he's accepting the invitation. So, I think that can open a door for, a swing trade possibility. So look into APPH. That's a pretty cool agricultural play. A couple other things I wanted to look at too were, let's see, Pure Storage. Again, let's go back to that. I talked a little bit about how IBM now has a partnership with Portworx, which is owned by Pure Storage. Also, Pure Storage got a couple of upgrades. Morgan Stanley, it's still a hold for Morgan Stanley, but they raised their price target from 25 to 28, and another analyst raised their price target from 23 to 30. So upgrades, not huge upgrades, but upgrades nonetheless. I'll take it. Positive sign is along with that IBM partnership. So great earnings last week. Company's still really cheap. I got a lot of content on my channel about Pure Storage. Check that out if you haven't seen it. And that's really it. Yesterday too, we were talking about, I said over the weekend, I anticipated the market to be green today on Monday with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, being approved and starting to go out, the one-shot vaccine, as well as the stimulus news. I expected that to get us a little relief on Monday. I did also say, though, I have a question mark for the rest of the week, as well as the rest of the month even. So I hope everybody was, I don't know that we're fully out of this. That's kind of what, correction still could be taking place. It still could be a little bit of a bumpy ride, but I'm optimistic, or at least the people that I take my advice from, rather, are optimistic, down the road, 30 days from now, 35, 6 weeks out, 2 months out. So there is optimism long-term, or, after that, but it could be a little a little bumpy in the near term, in the next 3-4 weeks. Could be a little bit of a bumpy ride. So we got a few people in the chat. I mean, does anybody want to you guys got anything you guys want to talk about? Any questions? I'm more than happy to answer them. Any questions on how to do some research, how to select some of these stocks? No? Because I'm going to wrap it up in about 5 minutes. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you drop them in the comments, in the live chat box. I'll make sure I answer the question. YouTube didn't send you the notifications. What's going on, Sean? Glad to have you. Don't forget to hit that like button. We're just going over what happened in the market today. Just a little recap, nothing crazy. I tried to do the screen sharing thing, but the stream was way too laggy. So I had some trouble with that. So I ended that stream and just started a standard live stream. Yeah, definitely. Good day today. I don't know if you remember, we did talk about it a little bit on the live stream yesterday. I expected Monday to be a strong day with the vaccine, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, along with stimulus news. But proceed with caution. I'm not so optimistic for the rest of the week. I could see, tomorrow being rough, Wednesday being rough. I could see the whole month being rough. So, I hope I'm wrong. But at least the people that I listen to, the people that I respect that take my advice from, there's a tweet from Dave Freeberg was out yesterday, and he said he's optimistic 30 days and out. One of my buddies that I respect, who's really smart about this stuff, said, hey man, the kind of stocks that we invest in, it's probably going to be rough the next 30 days. So bunker down. Believe in what you own. So, the people that I believe in, the people that that I count on for information, seem to be optimistic more long term, not so optimistic short term. So definitely, don't be worried, don't panic. If the rest of the week is not so good, it probably won't be. But again, I really hope that I'm wrong. I hope that things start flying all over the place again. But again, I'm more optimistic and bullish, for down the line more so than right now. And again, I'm just guessing too, Sherman. That does not mean anything. It's just a guess. But I was right about today. We talked about it, I think, on Saturday or Friday. I might want to. And yesterday, I think I talked about it too on the live stream. We talked about, the Monday's probably going to be a good day, but don't let it give you like too much false hope, But also too, who cares, right? Like, remember, long term, we're thinking. What the heck does it matter what the price was on March 2nd, 2021? If you're going to hold the stock until 2025, 2026, 2027, 2030, right? Like, so if you're going to have a stock in your portfolio that long, who the heck cares what the price is on March 2nd, 2021? In my opinion, the cheaper the better. So, bring them down, so that's the kind of philosophy that I'm adapting, and the kind of philosophy that I'm passing on. And I hope it's sticking, and everybody's going to come up with their own strategy, their own system, and I was talking about this with a couple friends yesterday, 2 different conversations I had where we talked about, having that long-term outlook and how it takes, making your own mistakes and usually costing you money for it really to stick. But I hope to be a channel and a content creator that kind of speeds the learning curve up a little bit, because I've made these mistakes before. I've made a lot of mistakes, and through those mistakes, I think I've crafted a pretty good strategy, a pretty good system, of how to invest in some of these growth stocks and how to keep your sanity, while, during the volatility. For sure. I said that to a friend today about Pure Storage. Hold and don't worry about 22 versus 24 when the stock will be 100 someday. And that's exactly what my thoughts are exactly. And I think that I do believe Pure Storage is a $100 stock. I think pretty soon too. I think, you know, late next year, early 2023. I think we're looking at a $100 stock at that point. I really do. I believe that in my heart. You know, and so far I've been pretty spot on with, you know, you can never predict the time frame, right? But I feel like I got a pretty good beat on this company. I think, you know, matter of fact, we were talking about upgrades Friday, Saturday, and they came today. So, you know, it's good. You know, good things are happening. The earnings were good. I was expecting good earnings. And good earnings came. I was expecting upgrades, and upgrades came. They were small upgrades, but they were upgrades nonetheless. But it's also good because it leaves room, right? It leaves room for more upside. So they have a conference tomorrow. They have a conference the day after. You know, if you really want to try to get into that company and understand it, check out my playlist. I think I do a pretty good job. I'm proud of the work that I've done on that company. But also check out the virtual conference that they're going to tomorrow, the virtual conference that they're going in on Wednesday. It's a great company with a great opportunity, I feel like, you know. Do I have some news about Hyliion? I don't, but again, I like Hyliion long term. I think they're in a really good position for a couple of reasons. You know, it's gonna clean future, right? Clean energy. I think that they're more efficient. They claim to be just as efficient as EV because they have like a hybrid. But the best part about them is if you can't afford to buy a whole new, you know, a brand new truck, if you're a truck driver, you know, it's more affordable to get the Hyliion like conversion. You know, that's basically what it is. It turns your existing internal combustion engine, your ICE engine, into a, you know, green, efficient, hybrid, clean energy, reusable system. The thing about them is it may take some time, and you know, and the problem also is, you know, for me, that they're, you know, they're a competitor to Tesla, and I think Tesla is the best company in the world. And if I'm going to own anything EV, like if I just feel I'm better suited of adding to my Tesla position, as long as I see 10x value there. And I still see 10x value there. I do. I think Tesla has a $10 trillion market cap opportunity. As crazy as that sounds to some people, but I still see that there. So as long as I see 10x potential in Tesla, when I'm going to put money in EV or an EV type company, that's where I'm going to put it. With that being said, Hyliion, I think, is a great opportunity long term. If you're a Hyliion owner, just be patient, man. It's a great company. I really like Thomas Healy. Smart guy, fascinating guy, young guy, you know, self-made billionaire. You know, you got to respect that. CCIV is the next Tesla. Could be, definitely could be. My concerns with CCIV, Lucid Motors, which out of the startups, like out of all the other startups, what I mean by that is like companies that have a prototype, just a prototype, that they're not actually in production and actually getting revenue. Out of the EV startups, I think that Lucid has the best opportunity to challenge Tesla. Not really challenge Tesla, but there's a lot of question marks with Lucid still. Okay, what I got to find out with them, what I have to find out about Lucid Motors is their batteries, right? Like Tesla has Panasonic, and you know, they keep the cost down there. How is Lucid going to keep the cost of batteries down? Okay. I also need to know they're going into manufacturing. I got to keep an eye on their margins, right? I would like to see their financials before I made a clear, distinct, you know, decision on them. I would like to see, you know, how efficient are they manufacturing these cars? You know, manufacturing an EV is much different than a prototype. Go back and watch Elon Musk, some videos on him in the manufacturing phase of Tesla. They had a very difficult time, to the point he was looking to sell it. He was trying to take on buyers. It's very difficult to manufacture, and that's the problem. That's why it's hard for me, and a lot of people, they're comparing Lucid to Tesla, and I go, how could you even make that comparison? we don't even know a lot of stuff. We don't know, there's a lot of questions, You think XPEV is the one between CCIV and NEO? I think NEO, but they're a little bit further. NEO's a little bit further. They're not a startup, so I didn't put them in the equation. They're actually out there doing it. But Lucid's deal with Electrify America, they at least have an advantage over some of the other startups because they don't have to wait for this big drawn-out infrastructure for charging, right? So they have a little bit of an edge over the rest. Plus, they're manufacturing their own vehicles, and I also view that as an edge. Like opposed to somebody like Fisker, who's subcontracting it out or giving out the manufacturing, that cuts into your margins, right? So, with EV, you got to be looking at that. You got to be looking at the batteries. How are they producing batteries? Also, what are they doing for charging? Their charging network, right? Like, how can they compete with Tesla? Tesla Supercharge network. Okay, well, Lucid has the Electrify network. What about the rest of these companies? So you have to get that answer. If you're going to invest in these EV companies, make sure you have that answer. Also with Lucid too, we don't even know what their autonomous technology is like. And I've done my DD on that company. I know a lot about Lucid. I'm strong there. Like as far as I put quite a few hours in, and I couldn't find it. I could not find the answer. So it makes me wonder, like, okay, what's up with their autonomous technology? So until I have that answer, so I know what they're doing with their batteries, I can't compare anything to Tesla. Tesla has major moats all over the place, like 10. They have moats over like 10. I don't know how anybody could catch them, Matter of fact, I'm pretty comfortable with saying, like, the battle is to be number 2, So, these companies will get there, I think. I just don't know which ones. Lucid looks good. NEO looks good. XPEV looks good. QuantumScape looks good. But, I don't know. There's a lot of question marks. So none of them are comparable to Tesla yet. None of them. None of them are the next Tesla, put it that way. They're too far away. They're too far away. NEO, NEO to me would be my pick for number 2, though, right now. If I got some of those answers with Lucid, I may even, I may even say they might be number 2, but I don't know. I feel like it's an unfair comparison, and they're so far away to make that comparison. If you just got in a live stream, please hit that like button. That kind of stuff really helps the channel. And subscribe if you're new to the channel. If this is your first time here, we talk about a lot of research, DD. I'm very transparent in the way I research, what metrics I use, especially if you're a new investor. I really think that I could help. And I think subscribing to this channel as a new investor could be beneficial to the way you invest. So if you're a new investor and new to this channel, that's great. That's exactly the kind of people that I want. So please hit that subscribe button if you're new. This is a really nice channel. Everyone hit the button. I'd have to see it. You have to go see it. Thank you, Sherwin. I really appreciate all the support. I really hope that you come on the next one. I really appreciate, especially the viewers. Thank you guys too. There's been a handful of viewers too that have been very interactive with the channel, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you. It's so cool. And I started a few months ago, and who knew I had no idea where this was going to go, and just the fact that it's going somewhere now, and it's on the right track, and that's only because of the audience. So I appreciate it. People like Sherwin and Sean, Deco. There's a few, Maya, the teen investor, and that have always just been so cool and supportive to me. Monster Stock Pick's been a big a champion of mine too. It's helped me out. I really appreciate those, that and the audience. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. To others in here, I could tell you that MJF will make you a better investor. Thank you very much, Sean. I really appreciate that. And again, if you're new to the live stream, we were just talking about Lucid Motors and maybe how to pick out some of these EV companies from the startups. Also understanding the difference between these EV startups, they have a prototype. If they're pre-revenue, you got to make sure what they're doing for manufacturing. You're going to want high margins. You're not going to really, you want them to be efficient. That stuff's going to be really important. You can't have, low margins and, outsourcing this and having Volkswagen build your cars. And what are you making, So those are the indicators that'll help you forecast what EV companies will make it and which ones won't. And again, we talk about the EV sector possibly being in a bubble, but if you pick the winners, you're going to make money. You're going to make a lot of money. So, you know, you don't have to just take me. Like I own Tesla. That's all I own in this sector. But that's not to say you can make a lot of money with some of these companies if you pick the right ones. Where's Promevled? Been a few. I haven't seen him in here. He was just here. Promevled was just here right before you got in. He came in, said a couple things, and then left. And I forgot to mention him too. He's been awesome too. He or she has been awesome. I don't know. I'm assuming it's a male, but most of my audience is, but I don't know that for a fact, I should say. Any comments on EHang, EH, or ACIC, a SPAC, autonomous EV flying vehicles? Okay, yes, I have thoughts on that. EH, ACIC, they look great. They look good. That's urban air mobility, that sector. The sector that you're talking about. My favorite play right now in urban air mobility would be Blade Network, which is ticker symbol EXPC. Okay. I do have a video if you want to look at some of my content. I'm getting ready to make a second video to go a little bit deeper and show you a little bit of stuff. You know, just at the highlights I'll give you for Blade Network, ticker symbol EXPC, would be it's asset light. It's an asset light model, which I love. I love that long term, right? That gives the company a real chance for revenue when they keep their assets low. And it's basically, just to think of it, it's like an Uber, for electric vertical takeoff and landing. That technology. They have infrastructure laid out and building in a lot of the airports already because it serves a niche market because it's helicopters right now. But when electric vertical takeoff and landing technology is laid out and it's for passengers, cargo, organ transportation, it's a great opportunity. I really do like ticker symbol EH would be my second favorite. And then ACIC would be my third. But I do like all three. I think there's value in all three. If I was going to buy one of them, it would be ticker symbol EXPC, Blade Network. That's the one that I'm most bullish on long term. But I like both of the companies that you mentioned. Oh, what? Damn it. Next time, I guess. Yeah. Any comments? Okay. Yeah. So, that's just basically the gist of that. And I do like urban air mobility. Now the thing is, with electric vertical takeoff and landing, which is that EVTOL, when you see that, when you the lowercase e, capital V, TOL, that's electric vertical takeoff and landing. The reason I like Blade Network so much about that is because when that technology takes off, they win no matter what. When you pick EH or when you pick ACIC, you're picking very specific, right? Like you want them to win. Now I know ACIC got a buy order from American Airlines, and that's a positive sign, and I love that. And like I said, I like the company with large share. These are businesses, so I'm most bullish on. Yeah, so I like it's like a picks and shovels play, Blade Network. It's a picks and shovels play on, electric vertical takeoff and landing technology, and that's why I like it. Not so specific. But I like the other two companies you mentioned. Hey, Silverhawk, thank you for joining the live stream. You said he's most bullish on HITIF and VRME and TTTSF. I will write those down. That sounds like a lot of those. Are they all OTC stocks? I've never talked about an OTC stock on this channel before. I can't even remember the last time I bought one. I'm not VRME. I'm not saying that I'm against them or that I couldn't buy them or wouldn't be open to buying them. I just normally don't stay away from OTC. I'm just not that. I don't know how. I'm not that good at picking OTC stocks, so I'm probably not your guy. To say, I believe you because you said the right things. Growing TAM, yeah, VRME. That's funny. Look, that was the one I wrote down too. Out of them, out of the three you mentioned, I wrote that down. And you're on the right track. So if you guys didn't read the comment, Silverhawk said these businesses are extremely profitable business models with a large TAM. And that's what you want to be looking at for growth stocks, the TAM. When you hear that, TAM means total addressable market. So you're looking for a company that has a big TAM plus a growing TAM, right? So you want not only a big TAM, but you don't want a shrinking TAM. You want a big TAM and a growing TAM with a growing company. That seems to be a pretty good recipe to get started. A growing TAM with a company that has year-over-year growth. Those two things, they're not the only things, but that's you're going to need that for success. So that's a really a good point. I'm definitely going to look into ticker symbol VRME. Thank you for mentioning it, Silverhawk. If you just got in the live stream, please hit that like button. We're just going over stocks, man. Let's talk stocks. I say it in every video. And right now we're in an interactive part of the video. So if you guys have any questions, if you're going to mention a ticker, let me know. Like, give me one moat, and a couple of things that you like about them. It doesn't have to be long or detailed, but just get me started of what your favorite things are and what the company's moat is. I could jot it down, and if I like it, then we could talk about it next time, or I can make a video about it and dig a little deeper. That AAPL movement today, though. Apple, reversal time. I don't know, man. I don't know. I was just talking about that. Over the weekend, we discussed, market sentiment. And what I said was I expected Monday to be a good day because stimulus news, plus Johnson & Johnson starting to send out the one-shot vaccine. So I felt like, at least for today, for Monday, that there would have been at least a little relief and a little bit of a bounce back. I'm not so sure about the rest of the week, and I'm not so even sure about the rest of the month. I said it a few times. I don't mean to be, beating a dead horse, but I said it a little earlier in the stream, and I'm saying it again now. Like a guy like Dave Friedberg is talking about being optimistic 30 plus days from now. A couple other people have said it. Kathy Woods. A lot of people are talking about, the month of March may be bumpy, but we're still bullish and optimistic, down the road for Q2, for Q3, for Q4. So, keep that in mind. And again, don't be so, 5 years from now, whatever stocks you're holding, who the hell is going to care what the price is on March 2nd, 2021? You know what I mean? So unless you're a swing trader or a momentum trader, the price isn't going to matter, So the lower the better. Add to your convictions and hammer, Reversal time. They opened all their stores today. Oh, great. Good. And Apple, Apple's a great, Apple. You don't need me to tell you Apple's the best, if not the best, one of the best companies on the planet. Apple's a fantastic company. As a safe investment, it should be part of your portfolio. It's not necessarily a growth stock to explode, but it's a great company. It's Apple. Come on. If I want a solid mix of small caps, D-space companies, then here's a better list. EVGN, great pick. I have a video about that, Silverhawk, on my channel. I talked about it, a couple months ago. I really like that stock too, so that's a great pick. STPK, Golden Nugget, APXT, BFT, ENGMF, ASLE, KREN, and Multiplan. I like some of those companies. I'm familiar with some of the companies on that list. And some of them I just have to pass on altogether. Like, for example, BFT. I own PayPal. I'm a PayPal bull long term. So in my opinion, when I want to put money into fintech or whatever, I'm just going to continue to add to PayPal. The thing that spooked me off about BFT was the fact that during the SPAC deal, they only gave 4% of the company to shareholders, which I thought was a little bit stingy. As far as, especially with some of the other percentages that shareholders are getting for some of these SPACs. So the fact that I owned PayPal, and if I was going to own another fintech company, I would add Square. But with that being said, that's just the way that I invest. I'm sure you're going to make a lot of money on BFT, and a lot of the other companies you mentioned are great. So I'm sure that you did your DD and you have your reasons for holding. So that's great. And thank you for the suggestions. And I really like EVGN too. I do. I don't own it. I haven't made content on it. Multiplan is another one too. That's a figure out because I looked into that stock. I analyzed it. I like it. Right. I've lost money on that stock. You know, it's my worst loss. It's the worst loss that I had all year. You know, I still own call options for next month that I bought back when it was trading at, was it CCXX or whatever? I can't remember what it was. It was a Churchill. It was a Churchill stock though. I remember pre-merger. It's the stock that I lost the most amount of money on so far. I'm down on my position. My call options are way out of the money. So barring a miracle, you know, I'm going to lose on that one. And I'll probably have to hold the shares a long time to get my money back because my average cost is 12 something. So, and even when I look at it today, it looks good to me. I just can't figure out exactly why. Why is it going down, and why was there such a big sell-off? But I'm going to be patient, you know, and technically you don't lose until you sell. So what am I missing about Multiplan? Help me out with that one, Silverhawk. Is being manipulated by Wall Street. You need a time frame of at least 2 years for it to play out. Okay, that makes sense. And I know they have major shareholders in Saudi Arabia too. I was looking at the SEC paperwork. There was a lot of big buys. Like I couldn't figure out, but I'm going to hold my shares along. My call option, I'll lose money on that, but that's okay. You know, I've done better than not, but I don't. Out of all the trades I made over the last 12 months, that's been my biggest loss. But I'm still holding my shares, and I'm expecting to make money on it at some point. Oh, you'd like to hear my thoughts on CIDM? Great. I have a video I made in December. I love that company. I love that sector. I love the streaming sector as a whole. If you want to go back and watch that video, don't leave the live stream yet. But after the live stream is over, you know, go back and watch that video. I think I do a pretty good job, you know, covering that stock, getting into it, getting pretty deep into it too. The CEO, I really like the CEO. His name is Chris McGurk. He used to work for some really big companies like Disney, MGM, Universal. You know, so leadership, a real positive sign. They have a really big library too, especially in underserved markets. If you look, they have a really underserved and niche, you know, audience. Advertisers love that, and there's going to be a lot of advertising dollars that are leaving basic cable and flooding into streaming. But I'm going to give you my investment thesis on CIDM. At the end. And I think the best scenario for them is a buyout. I'll tell you why. One, if you look back at the Viacom deal for Pluto TV, they overpaid for it tremendously. I think that CIDM will have a similar fate. I believe that a bigger company, a bigger communications company will come along and buy it. You know, the thesis, I wrote it when CIDM was at like 54 cents though. So my price target was $3. You know, I'm up on it. I do own I own the company. It's in my YOLO. It's part of my YOLO trades. I don't talk about it that much, but if you watch my videos, you know, you could go back and see that one. I still like it. I think there's a lot of value. It's held up kind of nicely considering it was only like 60 cents a few months ago. Like when I made the video in December, it was 64 cents a share. The one thing that I'm not so sure about with them, my concern, there is a little bit of risk associated. Their majority controlling owner is a company called Bison Capital. They're in China. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. They made a pretty bad investment with their film distributor. I think it was called Starlight or Star something. I forget what it was, but they made a bad investment that they're losing money on right now. So we'll see if that ends up working out. My opinion is somebody's going to come along and buy that company. Because they have a valuable audience, they have a valuable library, and they're collecting. If you look at what they're doing, They're buying content and building a library. Here's an excellent website explaining the dynamics of why Multiplan is down. I think it's one of the best long LT holds on. I know this share price is being controlled by Wall Street, looking at dark pool data. I believe you, man, because that's the thing. I looked at Multiplan just recently, like to reevaluate. And, you know, I'd like to think that I've learned more in over the last couple months, and then I'm getting better at this. And I still like it. I still look at it and I go, holy shit, this is a good company, man. This is great. But I'm losing, you know, I'm losing on it. So, you know, I hope patience pays off. You know, you sound, we don't know each other, but you, based on what you're saying, you sound like you're an educated investor, and, you know, and you're in there too. So that gives me some hope, right? That I'm not the only one in there still hanging on. So I think you missed my comment about CIDM. Yes. So Tenmio, make sure you go back, check that out. I have a video about CIDM. It'll break it down a little more in depth. But I do expect at some point, either this year, next year, I don't know when, that a bigger company will come along and buy them. Yeah. You buy SQQQ option. No. Would I? I mean, have I ever? Sure. You know, just to put another perspective out there too, you know, I'm not saying that this is traditional, but buying out, you know, with options against the market, you know, when I have my portfolio is kind of growing, you know, and you know, I guess that's a good problem to have with it, but I get scared. I'm like, oh my God. So I'll always buy a put option as a hedge against the market in case of stuff like this. It softens the blow a little bit. You know what I mean? Given, I hope it's a donation, you know what I hope it's a donation, but it kind of protects me a little bit. So, you know, in case of a short-term market crash, you know, I can make myself a few hundred or a few $1,000s as my portfolio is taking a hit. So I do hedge from time to time like that, but my normal strategy is I normally don't buy, you know, calls or puts against the, you know, with the overall market. You know what I mean? But as a hedge, you know, I do it often. So, you know, if you throw that out there, that could be a strategy that you guys could use. I wouldn't necessarily say go and do that if you have, you know, smaller portfolio, but as your portfolio gets a little bit, you know, bigger and you want to protect it, you know, so, you know, that could be something that you look into. Silverhawk, hell no SQQS under fees and sky high. Better to just buy TTTQ put there. There you go. It's funny. Silverhawk wrote that, you know, as I was saying it. Awesome, man. So we're thinking along the same lines. You know, if you just got in the live stream, please hit that like button. Also follow me on Twitter at MJF_invest. You know, it's just a little bit quicker for me to get an idea out. I'm interactive on Twitter. You know, I'm always putting ideas out there. You know, it's just faster. You can have access to me. You could DM me if you need to. You know, I'd like to take care of my audience the best that I can, especially the names that I see frequently. So, you know, MJF_invest on Twitter. Make sure you follow me. Thanks a lot. CIDM, holding it till $3. Excellent. Best hedge, in my opinion, is buying TQQ and selling monthly 10% out of the money calls on the underlying. You trim off 8% of your cost basis every month by 1 year for your entire position would be free. Very good point. Very good strategy. That's it. You know, I don't know if that's necessarily going to be for the newer investors. That's a great strategy though for a little bit more experienced investors and investors that have, you know, larger portfolios that they want to protect. Or just build your portfolio. That is a great strategy. And what Silverhawk said was the best hedge is buying TQQQ and selling monthly 10% out of the money calls on underlying. You trim off 8% of your cost basis every month. By 1 year, your entire position would end up free. Stumbled across you when looking for ZOMDD. Keep killing it. Thank you, man. Thank you. I hope you subscribe for future content. Please hit that like button too on this stream. Trying to get some eyes in here. We made some other good calls too. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just a regular guy, but I focus on information and due diligence, and I love to try to teach the audience how. Not go do this, go do that. Why to do it? Why? What to look for? Growth drivers. What growth drivers I'm looking for? What websites I'm, things of that nature. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. We found FRSX, under $1. We found ZOM at 20 cents. We found CIDM at 60 cents. I found Nano Dimensions at $1.90. Aqua Bounty at 360. I mean, we caught some really big runners. Ticker symbol AMARA, right? I still own call options with a $5 strike price for 2023 on Marathon Patent Group. And I'm telling the truth. Look at the content. Look at my channel. I make a video about all the trades I make. Well, not all of them, most of them. That's why that was another reason I was saying follow me on Twitter. You'll know all of the trades I make. But we found some big runners on this channel using the information. And that's all. I just want to pass it on to the audience. I just want to have an audience of investors that we focus on due diligence. We focus on the information, and we have reasons for buying this stuff. The reason isn't just because some YouTuber told me to buy it. In the video, in my content, I'm telling you, this is why. This is what we're looking for. This, and hopefully to pass that on or speed up somebody's learning curve is basically the whole vision for my channel. So, I appreciate that. And we're going to continue to do that. So, and I just hope it's just with a larger group. If you just got into this live stream, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We talk about my Twitter DM is off. No way. You guys probably just have to follow me. If you follow me on Twitter, let's see. Do I follow SPAC BTQA? Any comments? I'm not familiar with that ticker. I will certainly look into it. If you drop a couple of reasons why, sell it to me in like 1 or 2 sentences. What's your favorite? Where's their moat? What are you looking at? What's the catalyst? And then I can do some DD on it. Then we could talk about it on the next live stream, or I can make a video about it if I fall in love with it. What's my next BNGO, FRSX, or ZOM? I don't have one of those yet, man. And that's funny too, because I forgot a lot of these guys. I heard guys arguing about it. Who talked about BNGO first? And the one guy was taking credit for it. He was like, "Oh, I was the first one talking about BNGO." But I watched his video and he talked about it at like $1.10 or whatever. And we talked about BNGO like 3 times. At 50 cents, 49 cents on this channel. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend I analyzed it. Actually, word for word, what I said was the first time I talked about BNGO on this channel, this is word for word. You can go back and watch it. I said, okay, so I found a company that just replicated the first ever human X chromosome, right? So it's the first time this has ever been done. I have no idea what that entails scientifically. I have no clue. But this sounds like a lot of money. Word for word, right? And then I started to analyze it in my future, in other content. And then once Boston Children's Hospital used it, that was like my second or third video about it. So all the other guys were complaining. They were all trying to take credit for it. But meanwhile, we talked about it almost. It's one of my first videos ever here. So, and again, right now I don't have a YOLO penny stock right now. There's a company that I do like. I talked about it on my live stream yesterday. It's ticker symbol BVXV. The reason I like it is it's a vaccine play. They're claiming to have benefits against all pandemics, or not all pandemics. They're claiming it's a pandemic vaccine. The drug is M001, and it's had positive trials and positive data against flu viruses, influenza strains that didn't. That weren't, they didn't manifest until after the vaccine was created. So the vaccine was created in 2008, for example, but in 2011, there was a flu strain that came out of Australia that this drug had some positive signs with. I'm assuming that there's some data too with COVID that we're waiting for. It's part of ARK Invest's Israel ETF, which is ticker symbol IZRL. But that company, that would be my, if I was going to pick one YOLO trade, it would be that one, BXVX. But for the time being, I'm staying away from YOLO trades until I know the market is, a little bit better. Hey, Eric, thanks for joining. Oh, wow, here we go. The market might be better. Here we go. 3 vaccines approved. It's time to look at reopening stocks. Airbnb is my reopening play. Let's go. Airbnb is I like it too, man. I'm a bull. I talked about it before on my channel. I really liked it. The problem I had with it was I feel like it kind of got up out of my price zone because it ran up so much on me. And if I could do it all over again, I probably just should have bought right then and there. And just, who cares? Just, you hold it 10 years through the volatility, but I thought and assumed that I would be able to get it cheaper. And I just never did. And now it's taken off. But I really like Airbnb too. So, that's certainly a great reopening play. They're disrupting travel, right? Work from home becomes work from any home. That puts them in a great position. Hosts, right? They're breeding hosts, experiences. They're making deals with towns. I could see big time like tourist type towns and advertisers linking up and making those like portal cities that they were talking about. So yeah, man, I get excited thinking about Airbnb and its possibilities as well. Go for Workhorse. Well, the thing about Workhorse is Workhorse isn't a bad company. It's a young company, right? And people who were buying it because of the USPS contract really had no business buying it just for that reason. Their earnings were actually really good today. They're way better than expected. And again, an ARK Invest Bad Ideas report, which came out last summer, I believe, or last, spring or fall. It came out last year. ARK Invest Bad Ideas 2020. They talked about drones dramatically dropping the cost of last mile delivery from 90 some odd cents to under a quarter. Dramatically dropping, right? So drones, right? That's what they're talking about. They're talking about Workhorse. They own a lot of Workhorse. They bought a lot of Workhorse last week when it got hammered. So that's what when they're talking like that, that's who I think they're talking about. They also talk about sidewalk robots in that ETF. Now, I don't know if Workhorse is working on technology like that, but if they are, that's really when you're going to see the value of that company. Once they disrupt the cost of package handling and package delivery in the last mile, specifically in the last mile. So this is a long-term hold. And now, I don't own Workhorse. I don't, but I know enough to know that, the drones are at least like 18 months or 12 to 18 months away from, the FCC approval. So you don't know anything about this company for another 2 years. You know what I mean? So don't be so nearsighted or don't give up on them because they missed out on a contract. Keep your eye on the prize long term. With all your companies, not just Workhorse. And I'm not a Workhorse bear or bull. Like, I see value in it. I think it's a pretty good company. I think it could be okay. But you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. So, sorry that if you bought in a little bit high and it got hammered by not getting that contract. But don't worry about the price right now. The company's still the same company that it was before that news came out, Is GILAT your favorite long? No. What do you mean? I never said that was my favorite long. My favorite long what? GILT was a company that I talked about. I like it as far as out of the Israeli fund, out of ARK Invest Israel fund. ARK Invest, if you don't know, has an ETF dedicated to companies out of Israel. The ETF is ticker symbol IRZL. So I went through those companies in that ETF, and out of those companies, as far as a growth stock goes, meaning like it didn't, like Fiverr is also in there. The Fiverr would be my favorite company probably in that, or Nano Dimensions or something like that. But as a growth stock or an unknown, that was my favorite pick. So it's not like my favorite company, out of all the companies, but it's my favorite company in that ETF. I'm afraid I have to go to work. I'll see you later. Good day. Thank you for joining the live stream. I really appreciate that, Neil. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and like before you leave. Thank you for spending the afternoon here, or part of your afternoon here. eToro trading platform. What about it? I don't use eToro. I use Thinkorswim, but I still have my Robinhood portfolio too open for options. It's just I trade options on Robinhood still. From time to time. I don't currently have anything open, but I still have that account with some money in it. I haven't totally closed the account, but my main account is Thinkorswim, TD Ameritrade. I think that's probably the best platform for as you get more experience. I used Robinhood in the beginning. It's a lot easier to use. Robinhood is very easy to use. So if you're a new investor, don't listen to this nonsense. Robinhood is just fine. Every platform shut down GameStop. Robinhood was not alone in that. And a lot of these people have ulterior motives and stakes in some of these other platforms. So be careful what the theme that these people set in like painting Robinhood to be in a bad light. Every platform did it. You know what I mean? TD did it, Webull did it, but yet you don't hear boo about them. Robinhood takes all the heat. Mike, Lemonade reports earnings tomorrow. Might be a catalyst for Mile this week to wake up. Yes. Lemonade, ticker symbol LMND, has earnings this week. If you've been watching my content, I am a Metro Mile bull. I own Metro Mile, which is ticker symbol MILE. I'm not getting so caught up. I was getting a little bit discouraged because I expected Metro Mile to behave, kind of like AppHarvest, like post-merger, shoot up to $30, where it belongs. But it's taking a little bit of time. It's fallen down back to 14 something. I actually added to that position today. I don't see why this wouldn't explode, or maybe not explode, but at least get the momentum. This is a good company, Metro Mile. I really believe in it long term. These could be good prices to start a position. If you're not a Metro Mile investor quite yet, check out my work on it and see if you like it. See if it's a company that maybe you like. I think I have 2 videos on my channel. I think I do a pretty good job explaining what it is. Like you'll know whether you like the company or not by watching those. But if not, look into it. See if it's a company that you like. I really think it has a lot of value. Just in the auto sector alone. But what they're planning to do down the line can really, really be special. They're going to look to pivot into homeowners insurance, renters insurance, pet insurance. You can see a lot of different partnerships. I know they have, they're a data science company, right? And they're the only data science company, really aimed at this, right? And it leaves them to the apps. Like they have these really special, I can see partnerships with healthcare providers and, healthcare insurance. I don't know that they could do healthcare, but they could have partnerships because they're really into I think the app that keeps your heartbeat and keeps track of all this stuff, so I'm interested to see like what their plan is, with that, on that end, too. So I'm interested in Metro Mile in a lot of ways, a lot of value, I think. Check out those videos if you're not familiar with Metro Mile. Richard Shepard, Vanguard kept GME and AMC trading. Okay. Yeah. Well, no. My point about Robinhood was, why is Robinhood the only one getting shit for it? a lot of platforms did it. You know, they weren't the only one. And honestly, alternative perspective. Now, Vlad, that was whatever. I'm going to tell you that guy showed me one thing. He's tough. He knew he was going to get crap. He went on Dave Portnoy's show, this one show, that one show. He went out and took it. He made a tough decision. They went out. They had a liquidity issue. He raised a lot of money in quick, and then went on a media tour and stood by his decision and took the heat. So as an alternative perspective to, a lot of the naysayers or whatever, I could look at that as a positive leader right there. I mean, a pretty good leader. Not on a morality basis. I'm not looking to go have a drink with the guy. I'm looking for a CEO that's going to give me my money back and some. And I think he might have showed me that. So I may even look into buying Robinhood at its IPO. You call me crazy if you want. I think I look at that whole situation quite differently than most. My only concern with Mile is that other big insurers just do the same thing. Well, what is the same thing? No, that's the whole thing. Is they don't have the technology to do the same thing. Metro Mile just pivoted into Metro Mile Enterprise, and then they had that deal with Ford. I don't know that these other insurers are going to be able to do it as efficiently as Metro Mile. I'm in Canada. Insurance is different. So to me, it just sounds like they are going to make it easier for people to get and understand by speaking today's language. Well, again, Metro Mile maybe not be for everybody, but it's for me. I believe in it long term. I like it, but it might not be for everybody, and that's okay. So easy to use for real. Oh yeah, you're talking about Robinhood. Sounds like Mile will disrupt the U.S. insurance market. I think it will. I think Mile and Lemonade both are going to disrupt the insurance market. Yeah, not just auto. I think auto's first. In the coming years, I expect them to both to pivot and really put a lot of damage into the other insurance sectors as well, especially auto. If you look, there's I don't want to say the wrong number, but there's a lot of like no company really has like a majority market share. I mean, that whole sector is just ripe for disruption. There's like 10 companies that bring in more than 100 million a year or something crazy like that. And I mean, I just think Metro Mile really is in a good position, and Lemonade, both. True, I'm in for 100 shares, been buying on the dips. Okay. Established insurance companies are reluctant to disrupt their own business model. Established insurance companies are reluctant to disrupt their own business model. Very good point. I'm going to say that again. It's from Eric. Established insurance companies are reluctant to disrupt their current business model, and that's the truth. Also, too, just because they decide to do it, doesn't mean they're going to be able to. You got to remember, Metro Mile. Look at their board. Dan Preston and Dave Freeberg. I mean, these are some pretty smart guys. And not to say that Geico wouldn't have smart guys, but I'm not sure that they're able to get the type of technology out, that could keep costs so low and hit a home run with it, with Metro Mile and Lemonade already breathing down their neck. That's the other thing. You have to remember, the Metro Mile and Lemonade are here now. They're here. Now they're trying to scale. I believe Metro Mile is in 3 states only, and they're looking to scale. I don't know. I'm not sure about Lemonade. I don't own Lemonade. Maybe, Eric, if you can answer that question for me. Is Lemonade kind of scaled out nationally yet? That much I'm not sure, but I totally expect that whole market to be disrupted by those 2 companies, and then I think there's more to come. I think auto is first, but I think all the insurance sectors could be in trouble with those 2 companies or companies like it. Thanks, Mike. You answered way better than I could have about Mile. Thanks, man. Hey, Richard. Thank you for joining. You're in for 100 shares on Metro Mile. Okay, cool. Yeah, when you said that, you had some concerns, and that's okay. There are some. There's always going to be risks, but considering, I don't see that this company being this cheap for very long. You know, I mean, look at their board. Their board of directors alone. You got Dan Preston, Dave Friedberg. They added Ryan Graves. They just added the woman Dolores something from Cartoon Network. So they got a really strong leadership. Chamath led the pipe. Mark Cuban jumped in early, like as an early investor. So, you know, there's a lot of big names and a lot of smart people involved there, especially the CEO. I really like their CEO. He's a quiet, calm, sharp guy, man. We're not talking like just regular sharp. He's like Princeton, Stanford. You know, he's like an academic, you know. So this is a sharp guy here. Lemonade is working on becoming a global insurance provider. They're all over Europe and all over the US, renters and homeowners, rolling out pet nationwide and term life insurance. No auto yet. Oh, okay, I got you. So Metromile is the auto, Lemonade's all the other insurance, and then whatever. I see. Okay, so that's the double. There's the plays right there. So Lemonade is not in auto yet, but Lemonade is Lemonade is rolling out globally. All over renters and homeowners and pets. So really good, really exciting, man, and really successful. I don't know enough about Lemonade to pitch that to the audience or know them, but I know a couple of people that I respect tremendously that have helped me with my investing and crafting my own strategy. There's a few guys that like I kind of, we really respect and listen to. And I know at least two of them own Lemonade. So, to me, that means right off the bat, I respect, the company, but I just don't know enough about it yet. But Metromile, to be clear, I am an owner. I do have videos and content out about it. And I expect in the sooner rather than later. I expect this thing. This is a $30 stock, So as long as it's under 30, I'll consider adding. I added today, I added today. And if it stays at this level, I will continue to add. And especially if this is like extended, and it just stays right here, 14, 15. It's a great quote. I mean, this is a great price range. He's sharp, man, not regular sharp. Yeah. I'm from New Jersey, man. I talk like a moron. I'm sorry. Everyone complains about how expensive car insurance is. And that's exactly right, Richard. And that's my thought process on it, too. And if one thing, right, that this pandemic showed is that, if you're working from home, you don't have to drive much, right? Or if we, it really, like my mom, for example, she drives maybe a couple of miles, a couple of miles a week now. This is like the perfect insurance for somebody like her now. I don't know who else can relate. Like if you're working from home, and you live in in a town, like really, how much driving do you need to do? Do you really need to be spending $120 a month on car insurance? I mean, their plans start at $19.99, and I think it's something like 5 to 7 cents a mile, so you're talking, $50-$60 a month, for car insurance. That's good, man. It's really good. Insurance is one of the largest markets out there. No innovation in insurance in the last 50 years. Everyone hates insurance companies. Insurance is the most market ripe for disruption. Exactly. Exactly. I viewed it, with Metromile, with auto. I mean, I guess I should have been taking Lemonade a little more seriously early on. But I'm going to look into that too and see because what you just typed in the comments there really piqued my interest, and that's a really good point. Everything is evolving, right? Everything is changing. Technology is disrupting so much. It's disrupting so much. Why wouldn't it disrupt insurance as well? So Metromile is the only company aimed at auto insurance, like data science company aimed at auto insurance, and Lemonade aimed at basically everything else. I mean, it's a pretty clear picture. Mile and Lemonade to the moon. I hope so, buddy. I hope so. You quoted the Mile CEO that way. No, I know. No, I know what I say. I know. I talk. That's how I talk silly, you know. I do. I really do. But why do I? No, you're good, man. Don't even worry about it. But yeah, but those are really the companies. Another thing too I wanted to discuss was Pure Storage. You know, why not? It's not a live stream unless we talk about Pure Storage. Today they announced that Portworx, which is owned by Pure Storage, will have a partnership with IBM for cloud hybrid, for the hybrid cloud solutions. Excellent sign. So when Charlie Giancarlo said on the call the other day, he said on the earnings call the other day, you know, we're the only game in town. This is the kind of stuff he's talking about. You know, they're going to be needed. You know, specifically in robotics, genomics. You know, pretty much everywhere, man. You know, they're basically like an octopus with tentacles, just in every market. You know, just everywhere. Will it succeed everywhere? I don't know, but I think it'll succeed where it matters. You know, we talked to yesterday. If you were on the live stream yesterday, we talked about possible upgrades, right? And we got a little bit. They weren't huge upgrades, but they were upgrades nonetheless. Looking forward to the conference. There's a virtual conference tomorrow that they'll be doing, as well as Wednesday. So we'll see how those go. Check those out, man. You know, just look into that company. I think if you look into it a little bit, I think, you know, you'll like it, you know, especially if you're sitting on this live stream like this for an extended period. This is my favorite stock, you know, this is my favorite stock. And I'm really excited about the opportunity that it presents, you know, and you know, there was upgrades. They weren't huge upgrades, but there's still room. And I don't think that we're going to see, I don't think we're going to see its, you know, real value or real potential until next year, like next summer, probably. It's probably really when we see, you know, Pure Storage's potential. I think this year is going to be a really good year. It's starting to accumulate some customers, starting to make a name for itself, you know, but I'm thinking sometime next year, this could be a $100 stock. And I'm excited about it. Mr. Shah, it's hoping for a bigger dip. Can we get a day under 20? If we get a day under 20, I'll hammer it. I don't think so. I think those days might be gone, unless, you know, there's, you know, something that happens on, you know, in the overall market that would bring it down that much. But I don't think this goes back under 20. I think this year, I think the next earnings will be very strong, a little stronger. The earnings after that, I'm expecting gradual upgrades and increases, and for it to really start to be known. You know, I think that's really the point that we're at. You know, I think that this is probably, you know, the last, you know, period to get this company cheap. You know, I don't know. You know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so though. This is my biggest conviction trade. I'm hammering it every day. It seems like they're making a lot of moves. The Portworx acquisition, I've talked about it a lot on this channel. I think it's a very big move and you'll see the benefits 2, 3, 4 years down the road. It allows Pure Storage to really, workload start to finish. They don't need, like, they can run on their own. You know, they don't need much else. So I think that's a really, really positive sign. You know, I'm talking about a buyout. Possibly, like I've said that quite a bit. I've said buyout. But when I'm looking at what they're doing, they may not be trying to get bought out. They may be going for straight domination. You know, so that Portworx acquisition really is big, really big. Also, I really like too that on the earnings call they talked about They had 8 purchases or 8 deals of $10 million or more. So that's, what does that tell you? That people are willing to spend the money. The product's that good. The NPS is 83.3. An average tech company, the average tech standard is 16. A company like Apple's at 60 or 63. Pure Storage is 83. It's the top medallion score for a vendor in the world, like the highest one, not in their sector, period, across all sectors. I mean, that's really impressive, really impressive. I'm going to take out a second mortgage. Me too. Me too. Richard, do you own Pure Storage? I've seen your name now on the last couple of live streams. Thank you so much too for being part of the channel. I'm just curious if you're a Pure Storage owner, or if you're familiar with the company. I'd really like to hear Pure Storage gang. Okay, nice. Another Pure Storage. How you doing, man? Thank you for joining. If you're new on the live stream, please hit that like button. I bought it today as well again. Okay, great, man, great. I think this is a great place to start a position. I think it's a great place to add to your position. I think it will be for the next couple of months. I'm really excited about this opportunity, guys. I really am. And if I'm wrong, just know that I'm taking it way hard. I'm going to take the hardest hit. So I'm in there with you. I really, really believe in this company. And I hope, I hope you guys are also looking into it too. Don't just take my word for it. Look into it. Peel those layers back. We're looking at the growth. They're going to more of a subscription-based business model. So they're trying to, convert into that. That'll create a recurring revenue. That recurring revenue with high margins that way, because they're a software company, and I think they have like 69 or 70% margins. So they hold on to a lot of their money. Also really attractive too. They did the buyback, a $200 million buyback of their shares. So those are all really positive signs that the company's headed in the right direction. So, that gives you a little bit, it gives me a little bit of that validation. I don't know if we're opening green tomorrow. I said for sure that I felt good about Monday because the stimulus won, and then also the fact that Johnson & Johnson started sending out some of those one-shot vaccines. I kind of figured Monday would be a green day. I wasn't so sure about the rest of the week, and I'm still not. I'm not sure. But again, I'm taking the approach. I don't care. I don't care about tomorrow. I don't care about this week. Honestly, I'm kind of hoping for a big sell-off. I want to add to my companies. So I still have some buying power that I have on the sidelines. I have been buying more. I have been adding. I talked about it in a few videos. I usually keep like 5% of my money in buying power. For opportunities like this. I'm down to like less than 1% now. So, I've been buying, I've been adding. Pure Storage is one of the cheapest growth stocks in the market. Stock can 4x on valuation alone. Those 122 and 123 calls look very tasty, and I agree. And I'm loaded with those calls for January of 2022 and January of 2023. I took the approach to keep my strike prices relatively low. Like I have 25s and 30s and 35s. I just started buying 35s because I plan on possibly exercising them. I'm not just only buying the options for the premium. I plan on exercising quite a few of them. But I own a lot of those call options now. I'm very deep into this company. So what's a realistic price target on Pure Storage within 6 months? It's hard to say. I would be happy with 35, 32, 35. I would be happy with that. But it could, man. It could be higher than that. Somebody in the comments just wrote, Eric just wrote, Pure Storage is one of the cheapest growth stocks in the entire market. The stock can 4x on valuation alone. So just not, that just, that means the business as is. It doesn't need much difference. So that means any extended partnerships or whatever that could add value. It's just a matter of people getting their eyes on it. Wall Street starting to not respect, but take it more seriously and looking into it. I'm thinking $35-$40 hopefully by in the next 6 months. I'm hoping $45-$50 by the end of the year. That's my hopes. That's my hopes as a crazy bull. Hi, can you look into PIXY for me? What is PXI? What is that? And if you're going to suggest a stock, I'm more than happy. That's what I do. I love looking into stocks. I look into them all day and night. Every free minute, I'm looking at. If I'm not, attending to my business or my family, I'm looking into stocks. Every free minute goes into it. But so if you're going to suggest one in the comments, just drop like a line or two. Just tell me like what the moat is. Give me a moat, something you're attracted to, or maybe a growth driver. A line or two, what you like about it, so it could like I could at least like filter out some of the good ones from the bad ones, and also too, I'm not an OTC guy, so some of these OTC stocks I don't really. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I can't pick OTC stocks. I've had no luck with it. And I don't talk about them on my channel, and I'm probably not going to start talking about them either. So the OTC stocks are probably better suited for somebody else. Somebody else could probably help you with that a lot better than me. So I'll also keep that in mind. 100, 150 by 2023. That is also my hopes as well. About 100, 150 by 2023. That's my hopes as well. Anyone still in ASRT? It recovered really well today, and it's been popping up on Reddit recently. Yes, I made a video about ASRT a while back. There was a couple of reasons I liked it. One was the Golden Cross, which is the 50-day simple moving average across the 200-day simple moving average. Came up on my radar 2 months ago, and when I started looking into it, what happened was they restructured their business, and they were saving themselves like $40 million a year, pretty much. They paid off $10 million in senior debt. So I was like, there's some value there at 50 cents or 40 cents or whatever it was. I took that, I ran it up. It ran up to like $1, like 10, I want to say. But I did. I locked profits in. When it did that. It went back down. I think there's still value there if you wanted to get in, if you were in it, But I also think you could find 2x value in a safer way somewhere else, because that's really all that I'm seeing there is like 2x, 3x value, and I think you could get that somewhere else a little safer. But I don't know. I don't know that for sure. And also, I think what was their thing? They sold ASRT. They sold their rights to gabapentin. They were like the creator of gabapentin, and I think that they have some cash on hand, and they're expecting as well. They're basically saying we're going to buy a company or a drug that's in phase 2 or 3 of trials. If you go through their investor presentation, they're pretty clear about that. So there could be, if they announce tomorrow or next week. We bought a drug that's whatever. I mean, it could run up, but I'm out of it now. They have a conference on the 15th. I'm going to hold to see what happens. Good, man. Good idea. I think that's a great idea. Depending on what your average cost is and what your expectations are. I think holding until holding is never a bad thing. And again, we're talking about being patient. Long-term outlooks, I mean, nobody, are you going to care, honestly, at the end of the day, whatever stock, what it is we're talking about, what the price was on March the 2nd, 2021? No, you're not. Not if you're planning on holding the stock until, 2025 or beyond. And that's the kind of investor, I'm working to become. And I'm trying to, promote and put out there and hopefully, we can start to get more people in that and investing that way. I just feel like there's a lot of hot ticket, hot button, momentum trading, and unfortunately, I think if the market really goes bear for an extended period of time, that those investors might go away. And it doesn't have to be. I think if you prepare yourself and you really, really, focus on research and reason, and doing things intentionally, I think you could really save yourself, a lot of headaches. And that's the kind of stuff that I want to promote. Doing your due diligence, being informed, and really, really, really focusing on a select amount of companies, your portfolio, like knowing everything about the 8 to 10 companies that you own, like you're in on the calls, you're in on you get the email subscriptions, the press releases. You get the press releases when the press gets them, be that type of investor, you know what I mean? And that's the kind of, channel that I want to promote. And I hope that that kind of thing catches on, because, I've noticed it myself, and I'm not going to say, like, I've been trying to stay away from it. I'm trying to grow a channel. I'm trying to grow my channel. And I know certainly for a fact, if I make penny stock videos every day, those videos get way more views than pure sword videos or, blockchain videos or, videos, really analyzing a company and its financials and that kind of thing. I know if I just made penny stock videos 5 days in a row, I know that my channel would grow more than it would if I talked about, good sound fundamental stocks and breaking them down that way. Keep that in mind. I haven't gone down that road to because I want to promote good sound investing. There's nothing wrong with the YOLO trade, like here and there, 2% of your portfolio, depending on how big your portfolio is, obviously, but only taking on, 1 or 2 of these YOLO trades at a time and really hammering your conviction trades. That's the kind of stuff that I really want to promote and talk about. Wow, I've been going on for a while here. I didn't realize I've been on for an hour and 40 minutes already. All right, before I wrap it up, I'm thinking I'm probably going to stick around maybe another 5 minutes. But before I wrap it up, I'm just curious, if you guys have any other questions. What other stocks are you guys looking at? Did you guys buy anything today? What are you guys looking at? What are you guys thinking? What did we talk about so far? We talked about Airbnb and the opportunity that presents. The experiences, those portal cities, all that stuff. Oh, thanks, Sean. I really appreciate it, man. And as always, thank you for being part of the channel. You've really been interactive with the channel, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. That means a lot. And I hope that you're finding value in the content. I really am. That makes me happy. But thank you for being part of the channel. Oh, before I go, what do I think of? Beyond Meat. Oh, hey, Jay, how you doing, man? Thank you for joining the live stream. Beyond Meat, I don't know enough about it. Like, I've never analyzed it, but I will tell you this. I really like Tattooed Chef. I really like Tattooed Chef a lot. So with that being said, I might want to start looking into Beyond Meat, because Beyond Meat is the leader in that area. But I feel like Tattooed Chef could possibly be coming after him, Now I'm sure there's room for 2. But if I was going to add one of these, these what do you want to call them? Plant-based frozen foods, or like a wellness play, I think I would go with Tattooed Chef, because I think that there's a lot more upside. So I love the fact that Tattooed Chef has deals with, Walmart and Costco, and I'm sure Beyond Meat may have the same deals. I'm not sure, but I would have to look into it. So I would have to know more before I gave you my thoughts on it. I do like that sector, and I do like that play. I do think that the millennials and Gen X or Gen Z or whatever is taking their health and wellness a little more seriously. Vegans or plant-based diets are certainly growing, so that's good. Their total addressable market is growing. So there could be more upside and more opportunity there as well. But I really like Tattooed Chef. I like really like it. It's like towards like I might be getting ready to buy it and add it like to my long term. I'm getting close. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm there. I'm getting there. Bigger product line with Tattooed Chef for sure. Yeah, I love the fact that Tattooed Chef, man, they're doing so much. They're doing so much. The partnerships, the deals. They just signed a deal to do private label for Trader Joe's. So that's great news too, as well as they're adding so many SKUs. Like I analyzed a company about a month ago, or I was going through the investor presentation about a month ago. I went through it last night. They must have added like 90 SKUs. I was like, wow, man, they're growing rapidly. It's 100% company. The last 2 years they've grown 100%. Like, how is this only going for $20 a share right now? I have no idea. Well, I know why it's going. I'm saying I don't know how long it's going to be going for $20 a share. There's clear growth, clear as day. Walmart, Trader Joe's, Costco, Target, it's everywhere. It's in 50. It's going to by the end of this year, Tattooed Chef plans to be in 50% of Walmarts. I mean, that's going to be a big bump in revenue. That alone. It was good being here. See you later, man. Thank you so much for joining the live stream, and thank you for sticking around too. I really appreciate it. I hope you subscribe to the channel for future content. And thank you for being interactive. I really appreciate it. And also to the viewer who brought up ticker symbol PIXY. I still don't know. Let me know a little bit about that one if you want me to look into it. Any thoughts on hydrogen? You know me in the energy sector plays. Has it come across your plate at all? Do you think we're any closer to it becoming a viable solution? I'm not sure. I don't know enough about it. What do you mean, like hydrogen, like Nikola, like that type of hydrogen energy to power, vehicles and that kind of stuff? I'm not sure. I don't know enough about it. It's the same thing. It's like the same concept I was kind of, talking about before when I was talking about MP Materials. I don't know. I don't know enough about hydrogen or the sector to know if it's going to succeed. I do know it's cleaner, and if somebody does do it, it's a $1 billion idea. It's a $1 trillion idea, maybe. Because as far as I know, hydrogen is like 2 molecules, right? It's just clean. It's water, pretty much, right? Earnings and guide out disappointing. Oh well, Mile probably goes further on sale tomorrow. Diamond Hands, yes, Diamond Hands. I'm not too concerned though with Metro Mile. I'm thinking more along the lines of at least 2 to 5 years. I think that's my my thoughts on Metro Mile. It's 2 to 5 years. I think I'll give it. I'll reassess it along the way. If anything changes, I'll drop it. Or if I'm disappointed, in a year from now, I'll consider. But I'm going to give it a little bit more of a chance. Obviously than just the last couple of weeks. Although I do think it's undervalued. I really do. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm wrong, but I still think in the long term that there's a big opportunity there. Yes, fuel cells, etc. Yeah, I know hydrogen's cleaner. I'm going to look into it a little more because I had a couple of topics that I've been looking into that I really wanted to dive into a rabbit hole on, and I was looking into a couple of things, like to really start to try to learn and understand. Hydrogen might be a good place to start. So I could really decipher, who's a real contender from, somebody talking nonsense. You know what I mean? Roku just announced they are buying Nielsen's video advertising business. Roku goes higher. Roku always goes higher. The saying doesn't go stocks only go up. Roku only goes up. It could be a waste of time too. No, you're 100% right about that. It could be. But I want to know though. I want to know, and that's okay for me. To me, if I know the difference, or if I educate or I get a clear answer, then it's no waste of time at all. Knowledge is power, to me anyway. Did you check into Black Sky yet? SFT, I have not. I'm sorry. I've been dragging my feet on that one. And you know why too? I think when I said I was going to look into it, somebody had said Dead Inside already covered it. And I don't want to cover a stock after you know, somebody like him covered it. You know, he has such a big channel and, you know, I don't know, a big platform, and I don't know, well, he covered it already. So I figured, you know, whatever. I think that's the one, right? Black Sky. Yeah, that is the one. Yeah, I said I was going to look into SFTW, and then somebody was like, well, Dead Inside covered it. So I don't want to, like, start following it around like that, you know? Dad just did a second video today on it. See, yeah, see, so, you know, I have made some of the videos, the same videos as Dead Inside, but he has made them after I've made them. Not that he even knows who I am. Obviously, he didn't make them because of me. But the stocks that him and I have covered, I've made them. I've made my videos first. You know, obviously, I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not saying like, oh, he copied my work. He didn't, obviously. But like, I'm not gonna go make a video after a guy like he does. You know, especially because his audience is so big. You know, and now he did a second video on it, so it's a stock that he'll always cover. So, matter of fact, I covered MP Materials and made a lot of videos on it, and then when he started covering it, I stopped covering it. So, yes, Credwords do, absolutely, absolutely. You might want to invest in it. Well, what is it? It's a space play, though, right? It's a space play. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, maybe I should look into it. Maybe you're right. Maybe I shouldn't be thinking that way. I'm always thinking on like a level of content. Like I look into stocks to make content about them. You know, I learn about them, and then when they really, if they grip me and really jump me and grab me, then I invest in them. There's so many intelligent plays. I agree. I totally agree. By the way, too, I don't know if you guys watched. 2 days ago, I made a video about Berkshire Grey. It's ticker symbol RAAC. I think I'm almost ready to say it. I'm thinking I'm going to add that one. So Tattooed Chef and RAAC are two stocks that are really right at the top of my watch list. Right there. They're right there. I'm looking. You know, I really like that company. That's a really good opportunity. That robotics as a service is really cool. To create recurring revenue in a $280 billion total addressable market with Walmart and Target already as your clients, I don't see how they can miss. I don't see it. I went through that investor presentation like 5 times. You know, honestly, too, I mean, I'm not even really sure, you know, what could go wrong. You know, 5% of warehouses are automated currently. 5%. We're about to raise, you know, minimum wage. They're saying to $15 an hour. I would expect that to open the floodgates to robots, man. I don't expect companies to do it with people. I expect them to do it with robots. You know, in these little type, you know, these little carts. Well, they have a lot of stuff. They have hardware and software solutions. You got to look into it. It's a really cool company. Berkshire Grey, big opportunity. Under $12 today. If this thing dips a little more, I'm pouncing. I'm pouncing in fast. It's AI and eye in the sky. Oh, you're talking about Black Sky SFTW. Okay. I see it more like a satellite Palantir. Satellite Palantir, huh? I like that. I like that analogy because I really liked Palantir as a few months ago, and I really like Palantir as like a long-term investment, like a you know, down the line. They think really long-term. Their CEO is a really like smart. He's a smart guy. I mean, he's a really smart guy, really smart, and you know, that could be an interesting company. It's not for me to own long term. I was swinging options, and I did really well on it. I did really well with that company, but I was momentum trading it and swing trading it a few months ago. I did real good with that, and that's a cool company, really cool company. Especially too when you look into when you're saying satellites too. Right now, Palantir only has Foundry and Gotham available. Foundry is more for like the government, and Gotham's more for like enterprise. Apollo is something, man, something. That's like for space when we get up there. We're up there. that company is wild, man. It's a wild company. So Black Sky, huh? So I might check out Dead Inside's second video on it, or his first and second video on it, to see maybe if it's something that I might want to buy. But I doubt it. I'm not looking to add too much more at the moment. I'm just kind of sitting back, watching my portfolio, adding to my conviction trades. Doing DD, making my content. When the market stabilizes, I'll look for a YOLO trade or two, to get into. But I'm thinking that's going to be BVXV is probably going to be my YOLO trade. I really like that. I like that company. Something tells me that thing is going to rip. I don't know why, but I really feel like that thing's just going to start ripping. Before I actually sign off this time, I'm not kidding this time, I'm going to get off. Do you guys, you got anything else? I'm at 1 hour, 55 minutes. I'm going to get off at 2 hours. So I'll stick around another 3-4 minutes. Or not. Let's see. Another thing too. You know what else I was looking into? Really cool. These NFTs. Do you guys know what this is? This non-fungible tokens. It's really, really fascinating, man. Really cool in the gaming space. Nick Grouse from ARK Invest tweeted out an article before. And when I read it, I was like, oh my God, is this real? Really fascinating way, man. And the future is going to be, like you said, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a crazy world, man. Technology is unbelievable. Where we're going and innovation, and it's just very exciting. That's right, Sean. Thanks for the stream, man. Thanks, Richard. Hey, Richard, too. I seen you were here yesterday. And today, if you follow me on Twitter at MJF_invest, feel free to DM me, send me some articles, stuff you think is cool and interesting. I'm always looking into this stuff, and you spent a lot of time on here today and yesterday. And, I don't know your experience level. But if you're a newer investor and you have some questions or whatever, man, feel free. I'm pretty reachable on quickly on Twitter. Twitter's probably the best way to get a hold of me. But I'm also on StockTwits, the same name, MJF, at MJF_invest. So check me out on there, and feel free to reach out, and just to bullshit, talk, exchange ideas, cool news articles, help, whatever. So thank you for being part of the channel. I really appreciate that. Same to you, Jay. Thank you, Eric, as well. Really appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys, man. Thank you so much. Sean, thank you. Same names, really cool. I appreciate you guys, and if I can help in any way, reach out. Thank you for spending the time with me. A 10-second video clip sold for $6.6 million. No problem. Just add it on StockTwits. Thanks, man. Yeah, and again, if you have any questions at all or need anything, feel free to reach out, or, you see a cool article, a cool idea, send it my way. Again, thank you so much, guys. Had a great time doing this. Again, I'm going to be doing more of it. I might make a video and release it later. I'm trying to think. There's a couple companies that I'm ready to go to camera with. So I might make one tonight. Stay tuned for that. That one might come back on live, maybe. I don't know. Stay tuned. We'll see. But again, thank you for spending the time with me. Have a great night. Happy trading. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. It's up to you. Do all your own research. Let's talk stocks. We did that already, right? Take care, guys. Have a great night.